Hello all, this is ML Naruto. Welcome to my channel. And today I'm gonna explain the topic of operators. Right? So in operators we have three kind of operators. Nothing but membership operators, identity operators, logical operators. And inside the data types, we have already seen what is mean by basic data types. Those are nothing but integer, float, and boolean and sequence data types. Right? So now in this video, I'm going to explain what is meant by a complex data type. Complex data type is nothing but what is meant by a dictionary, set, and frozen set. I'm going to explain all these topics in this video. But before going to the topics, just have a look at this beautiful quote by Naruto. People who continue to put their lives on the line to defend their faith become heroes and continue to exist in legend. This is nothing but many people will mock you for your things, like you are doing something or you are investing your time and money in gaining your skills, right? But many people in your home or around you, many people, many friends will knock you like, why are you doing this shit, man? Why are you doing this? You're just simply wasting your time by investing your whole time and money in just by just sitting at your home. So just don't do that. Just move on, just do some kind of job. They do so, I mean, they do tell like this. But I can tell you a scenario like, but what is the reality is nothing but no one can guess what's in your mind, right? If you think that this work, I mean, this may work, then definitely put your heart and soul into that work. Then definitely it may gonna succeed in future. So that's nothing but if you have a strong belief in some kind of work, then just do it blindly. If you feel that it would definitely work, then just put your heart and soul and just go blindly. Then definitely you will get succeed. So this is the meaning of this quote. Now I'm going to explain what is meant by a membership operators, right? Okay. So Python supports several kind of data types, right? For example, integer, float, bool, sequence, all these data types, Python will support them. And these data types will use these kind of operators like membership operators. So I want to explain what is a membership operator. So for example, I have a group. Let's say I have one group. This group name is singles, right? Singles. Do you know the meaning of the singles, right? Singles is nothing but the people or a person or any individual who doesn't have any girlfriend. So for those people, we can call them as a singles, strictly singles. Okay, this particular group is strictly for singles. So what happens is I have already started some kind of registrations, right? Those who are those who are I mean, those who are the singles in their real life, then they just come and join this group. But this group is only for the singles, not for the committed people. I have put a condition like, condition is this is only for singles, no committed people are allowed. Okay, so many people are coming to join this group, right? Obviously there are many singles, I personally feel, than committed people around us. So obviously singles are coming to us and they are just joining this particular group. But I just want to know whether that particular person is a single or not. So what happens is, I'll conduct some kind of test. I'll check I'll check with the help of a test. So if the person qualify this particular test, then he'll be considered as a single, or else he'll be considered as a committed people. So obviously if he proves as a committed people, then obviously he won't be allowing into this particular group, because this is strictly made for singles, right? So here the logic is similar in case of these membership operators. So I want to basically check this. For example, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. See here, I have these numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. What are these numbers? What are these numbers? We everybody know that these numbers are nothing but the even numbers, right? And 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 I have given some random numbers like 1, 9, 8, 6, 2, 3. Okay. I'm given these particular random numbers. Some random numbers were given. So, and I need to check whether this particular digit belongs to this group or not. Okay. So what happens is I want to test whether one belongs to this group or not. What is one? One here is nothing but a one is nothing but, what is it? Odd number, right? So odd number. So odd number doesn't belong to this even number group, right? So obviously what happens is it will be rejected, and I'll go for another digit like 9, the digit 9. So what is this digit 9? This is also a odd number, right? So obviously it will be rejected, because this group is strictly for the even numbers. So till 9 I have only found odd numbers, so these two numbers will be rejected. And when you look for 8, what is this number? This is an even number, right? This is an even number. So obviously even numbers are allowed, right? So 8 will be allowed. So I'm just taking this as an example, right? And this is just as an example. So so membership operators are nothing but we want to check for the we want to check whether a number is belonged sorry we want to check whether a number or something, okay, or something belongs to a specific group or not. We want to check. So this is nothing but the membership operators. Here in membership operators we have two famous operators, that's nothing but in and not in. So these are the two different operators which are presented in this membership operators, in and not in. So what happens is let's come back to this example like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 1, 9, 8, 6, 2, 3, right? So I'm just opening my Google Colab. For example, I'm assigning a variable a is equal to let's say I'm assigning a string like Naruto, right? So what happens is I'm just hitting shift enter, and then I want to check like print B. Okay, I'm just running a, I'm just writing a if statement like if B in A, print characters are overlapping, or else print characters are not overlapping. See here, what I have done is I have just passed some kind of data, that is a string Naruto, to this particular variable A, and I just want to know whether this particular character, that is B. See here, this is not a variable, this is a character, because I have placed this character inside the quotes, right? So this is not a variable, this is a character. I want to check whether this particular character B belongs to this particular string Naruto or not. See here, uh, does this string has any B, has any character with the name B? No, because there is no B inside this string, right? So obviously, what I have done is I have just written a if statement. In this if statement, I have tested like if this particular character B in A. A means this variable. I have just stored all this string inside a variable, and I have just placed here as A. Okay. If this B is in this particular string, then just print characters are overlapping, because I have just found similar characters. Okay. I have just found similar characters. That is, characters are overlapping. Or else is nothing but if it is not found, if it is not found in this particular string, then print characters are not overlapping, right? So what happened? I didn't find any B. I didn't find any character B inside this string. So here it is showing me the output as characters are not overlapping. So this is nothing but membership operators. Membership operators. What is membership operators here? In the keyword in I have already used. We don't call actually, yeah, this particular in, the keyword in is nothing but the membership operator here, right? So I'll give an example, another example, like let's say I have a list one, and inside this list one I have some numbers 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 5. What happens is I have another list 2 is equal to, I have so many another numbers like 7 comma 8 comma 9 comma uh, let's say 10. Yeah. So I want to know whether my list one, I mean whether the elements, these are the elements, right? So these are the individual elements, whether the elements that are present in this list two are matching with the elements that are present in the list one. Because since it is a very small list, right, it just has some 4 elements, right? Only 4 elements. We can easily say that there is no element that is overlapping, that is matching, right? But what if it has some kind of 20,000 elements, and it has some kind of 30,000 elements, right? We can't even check element by element by just through our eyes, right? So we need to apply this kind of in operator here. So what I can do is I just hit shift enter, and then I want to run this if statement. If list one, okay, if list one of one, let's say, Because why I'm saying this, why I'm giving the index number as 1, because I specifically want to know whether this particular 8 number uh, belongs to this list 1 or not. I want to know this. That is, I just want to know whether my list 1 has a digit with the name 8. 8, whether a number 8 has been presented in this list 1 or not, I want to know. So what I'm doing is I'm just passing the index number of this uh, particular element, right? So how do I know the index number of that particular? Because I'll explain. Okay. Um, for example, see here 7, 8, 9, 10, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So these characters or these digits inside a list has been stored inside a memory. So each digit has its own memory, and this particular digit has the index number 0, because the index number inside the Python will always start with the number 0, and after that it will have 1 as an index number, and 2, and this is the 3, right? So when I want to check whether this particular number uh, whether this particular number belongs to this list 1 or not, what I can do is I just simply want to know the index of this particular number. So I have already found out that the index of this number 8 is nothing but 1. So what I can do, I'm just passing this list of 1. That is, I want to check whether this particular 8 belongs to this list 2 or not. So what I can do, I am just using here the membership operator in. Okay, because I want to know whether this particular number belongs to this list 2 or not. Sorry, list 1, right? So list 2, 1, and this is the list 2, because the particular 8 number 8 has been there in this list 2, right? So list 2 of 1 in list 1. What I can do, if I found that number, what I can do, I can print out I found the number. Okay. What if I didn't find any? What if I didn't find any kind of numbers, matching numbers? Then what I can do? I can print out that I didn't find any numbers matching, right? So this is nothing but, so I'm just hitting shift enter. What happens? Let's see. See here, I didn't find any numbers matching. Why? Because inside this list 1 we don't have any kind of number 8, right? So it doesn't have any number with 8. It only has 1, 2, 3, 5, but it doesn't have any number 8. So this is the example for this particular in operator. This is the membership operator in, and I want to explain whether list 2 of, I'm just using the same example, list 2 of 1, that is nothing but this particular 8 value. I want to know whether this particular 8 value not in this, I want to make sure that this doesn't belong to this list 1, right? So if it doesn't belong to this list 1, what I want to do is uh, I want to print true. No, I want to print yes. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. It doesn't have the number, right? What if it has, what if it has the number? It has that particular number. Then what if sorry, I found the number, right? So this will be the condition. So I'm just hitting shift enter. What happens? Yes, I know it doesn't have the number. Why? Because the same situation here. In this list one, did you find any kind of number 8? No, obviously. Why? Because it doesn't have any kind of number with name 8, right? So this is the case. I'm just copying all these things, and I'm just changing the value, index value. For example, I want to try uh, 10, right? So for 10, 0, 1, 2, 3. So 3 will be our index, right? What happens? Yes, I know it doesn't have the number. Why? Because do you find any kind of number 10 inside this list one? No. Why? Because it doesn't have any number. So this will be the case. And so the membership. So I have already explained the membership in and not in operators, not in membership operators, right? So what we can do is now we can move to the another operators like identity operators, right? Identity. So I'm just moving to the identity operators. Identity operators, right? Okay. So identity operators. What is meant by these identity operators? Identity, right? Identity. Identity means, see here, the name itself is saying identity. You need to match with that particular identity. So that's nothing but we are just comparing the objects. Identity operators are nothing but they are used to compare the objects, right? Just comparing the objects. So what are the identity operators we have? We have is, comma, is not. These are the identity operators. With the help of these operators, we can compare the two objects. Okay. And so, what does that comparing means? I can say with the help of an example, like they just want to compare. I mean, we just want to compare, or we can say that we just want to know. We just want to know whether the two variables are actually referring to the same object or not. Same object or not. So this will be the case here inside this identity operators. But I just want to make sure one thing. Don't just confuse with this identity operators and this equality operator, right? Equality operator. What is the basic difference between these identity operators and this equality operator? I can give you an example. Okay, example like mm, what can I give you the example like okay, for example, I have let's say we have the two babies. Okay, two babies. Two babies are twins, right? These are the two babies, twins with the names, Ram, Bhim. With the two names, these are the two babies. Though I mean they are the twins actually. So in this scenario, what is mean by this equality operator? Equality operator is nothing but here equality operator is nothing but comparing all the physical characteristics of the twins, namely Ram and Bhim, right? So you want to compare the physical characteristics of this particular people, of this particular babies, right? Ram and Bhim. So they both are the twins. So for example, if they are twins, they both have, I mean, let's say they both have the same kind of look, or they both look uh, similar. For example, the face of the Ram is very much similar to the face of the Bhim. So this is a kind of equality operator, right? This is the example of equality operator, because we are just checking whether Ram has the face which is matching to this particular Bhim or not. I'm just checking, right? And let's say uh, whether Ram has the same face as of Bhim or not. This is an example for equality. This is an example for the equality operator, right? For example, and another example I can give as whether Ram has the same watch, same Apple Watch. Whether Ram has the same Apple Watch as of the Bhim or not. Whether these two babies has the same watches or not. I want to check, right? Whether Ram and Bhim having the similar watches, the same watches or not, same Apple Watch or not. This is checking with the particular physical or materialistic characteristics, right? This is nothing but the equality operator's job. But what if we want to check whether the both two variables are actually referring to the same object or not? For example, I want to make sure that Ram is not Bhim, right? Ram is not Bhim. Why? Because Ram is a person, Bhim is another person. Ram can't be like Bhim. Why? Yes, he can be like Bhim. Why? Because I mean he can be like Bhim in terms of looking, in terms of appearance, but not in terms of what we can call, not in terms of body. Okay, because Ram has a different kind of body, right? What I'm trying to say is, uh, okay, I'll explain this. Hmm, okay, for example, he is the Ram, right? He is the Bhim, right? So Ram has the 1 minute. Okay, so Ram has the similar watch. as of the Bhim, right? So Bhim also has the same kind of watch, okay, and Ram has the same kind of cycle, and Bhim also has the same cycle as of the Ram, and Ram has same kind of mobile. Bhim also has the same kind of mobile, but Ram is a separate body, right? Ram is a separate person. He's a he's an his body is different, right? And Bhim has a separate human body. Okay, this is a separate object, right? And this is also a separate object. But what we are comparing is actually that defines uh, the particular operator. For example, for example, for example, if we are comparing these physical characteristics, like if Ram has the same face as of the Bhim or what, these are the physical characteristics, right? So then there comes the equality operator. Equality operator then there comes. Why? Because we are actually not comparing this particular not comparing the same person. We are actually comparing the two different persons, but we are actually comparing with the physical characteristics, whether he has the same kind of face or not as of the Bhim, whether he has the same kind of watch or not, whether he has the same kind of books or not, whether he has the same kind of mobile or not. We are actually comparing this. Then it comes the equality operator. But what if I want to have whether this person, for example, let's say he's actually a good person. Let's say Ram is actually a good person. He never quarrels with each other. But actually, Bhim is not a good person. He is actually a very rude fellow, and he has actually had so many conflicts with so many people. And I want to know whether this person and this person are the same or not. I want to know whether the person who is doing these good activities and the person who is doing all these bad activities are actually the same or not. I want to know. Then we have a operator called is. Okay, is and is not. So when you want to compare the physical characteristics, there we have this equality operator, and we want to know whether both the persons are same, whether both the persons are the one, or they are the two different people. We want to know that whether the person who is doing all these good activities and the person who is doing all the bad activities, these two persons are actually the one, or these two peoples are actually different peoples. We want to know. If we want to know this, then we have this kind of operators, is and is not, right? So this is the scenario. I'll give you an example in Google Colab, then you will get an idea. uh, let's say I have a variable a, right? I have an empty list, and I have a variable b. It also has some kind of empty list, right? And I want to know if a has some kind of equality with the b or not. I want to know this, and I want to say that if a and b has some kind of equality in common, then what I can print is both are equal. I want to print this statement, both are equal. What if they don't have any common similarities between them? Then I just want to print both are not equal. Okay, so I want to do this. So I'm just hitting the shift enter. See what happens. Both are equal. Why it is saying both are equal? Because I'll explain. Because while watching this video, you can screenshot these particular items, because in order to get a basic clarity between this equality and identity operators, if you want to have some basic difference between them, then you can just screenshot all the things which I'm drawing right now. Okay, now I'm just erasing, but while watching the video, you can just pause and you can just have some screenshot. Okay, so I'll explain now. See here, A has some kind of empty list, B has some kind of empty list, right? Okay, let's say this is A. Okay, and let's say this is B. But what happens is they both have something in common. What is that? They both have something in common. What is that? That's nothing but an empty list, right? It has empty list, and B also has some kind of empty list, right? So we are actually comparing whether this list is matching with this particular list or not. We want to know. So here comes the operator, nothing but equality operator. Equality operator. We want to know whether this particular characteristic is matching with this particular characteristic of B. We want to know. So here comes the equality operator, right? And we want to know, let's say A is a different variable, right? A is a separate variable and B is a separate variable. But we want to know whether A is B or not. I mean, A and B are one single variable, or these are they two different variables? Actually, they are the two different variables, right? So if I want to compare this particular variable and this particular variable are one, or these are the two different kind of variables, then there comes the operator is and is not. Is not. Then there comes the is and is not. So I'll tell you. There is that. Okay. So here it shows that both are equal. Why? Because it has some kind of list and it has some kind of empty list. They both have the same kind of empty list, right? So both the lists are have some kind of similarity between them. They both are empty, right? So so the condition will be the true. So I'm just getting this condition output as both are equal. What if I want to know whether this is a separate variable. We everybody knows that A is a separate variable and B is a separate variable. But actually, let's say we are dumb. Okay, we don't know anything. We have just landed here from Mars. Let's say we are actually the aliens. We have just landed here from Mars, and we want to know whether A and B are the one variable, one single variable, or they both are the two different variables. We want to know. So for that purpose, what we can do is, if I can test, like if A is B, then print out both are the same variables. Both are the one variable. Okay, both are one single variable. Both are one single variable. And what if A is not B, right? For example, what if this condition is false? Then what happens? I want to print both are two different variables. I want to print. Let's say I am hitting shift enter. What happens? Let's see. See here, it's coming like both are two different variables. Why? Because it's actually we are assigning this particular empty list to a variable, and we are assigning this empty list to b variable. We have already assigned two different variables, right? So how can they both be a single variable? No. Why? Because we have already assigned the two different variables a and b. So these two variables can't be a single one single variable. This is the separate variable and this is a separate variable. So the condition will be the false, and we are getting the else condition. If this is false, then what we get? This condition is true, right? So both are the two different variables. So did you get that? If you don't get, sorry, or if you didn't get this point, then just watch these kind of examples, practical examples. Here it has list. Let's say this is a physical feature, right? This is a physical characteristic. So if we want to compare these physical characteristics, then we are using equality operator. And if we actually want to compare these two variables, we just want to know whether these two variables are one single variable or these are the two different variables. Then there comes for our rescue is and the is not variable. Okay. Here we have tried for is variable. What if I want to try for is not? Let's say a if a is not b. Both are different variables, right? If this condition is false, then what happens? Print both are single variables. What happens? See here, a is not b. This is true. This condition is true. Why? Because a is a separate variable, b is a separate variable. So if this condition is true, I'm saying print both are different variables. Since this is a true condition, that's why we are getting this both are different variables as an output, right? So yeah, that will be the case for this. And if you want, you can try out a few more examples. You can try out for some let's say list 1 is equal to, I'm just saying 1 comma 9 comma 6 comma 4 comma 78. List 2 is equal to 2 comma 5 comma 23 comma 56 65. Okay, I'm just passing this for the two different so I want to know if list 1 has some kind of equality with list 2. Print they both have something in common, right? What if this condition is false? Then print they both don't have anything in common. If I hit shift enter, what happens? Let's see. They both don't have anything in common. Why it's coming like this? See here. Here the list 1 has 1 9 6 4 8. But what does the list 2 have? 2 5 23 56 65. Does any kind of element is matching with the other list of elements? See here, no element is matching with this particular list, right? So no elements are actually matching. So what if I can change these to 2? What happens? Let's see. Let's see. See here, they both don't have anything in common. Why? Why? Because see here, I'm just comparing this 2 with the 5, right? Let's say I'm just giving 2. What happens is here, when you compare, I mean, when you just try for this two equality operator, what happens is you're actually saying all the elements of this particular list need to match with all of these elements in this list too. For example, I have just uh, giving this 1 2 6 4 and 78 order for this list too. What happens? See here, they both have something in common. Why it's getting as an output? Why? Because all the elements are in a specific order, and all the elements are actually matching with the other list, right? List of elements. So here 1 is matching with 1, 2 is matching with 2. All the elements are actually matching with all the elements, right? So, and let's experiment out. What if we have these elements in a reverse order? What happens? Let's see. 78 comma 4 comma 6 comma 2 comma 1. See here, they both don't have anything in common. Why it's showing like this? We are actually having the same elements as of the list 1, but these are in a different order, right? These are in an ascending order 1 to 78, and these are in a descending order 78 to 1. So this will be the case. Why? Because lists are having some kind of order when assigning. For example, I'm just creating this list 1, and I'm just passing all the elements inside this list in a specific order. Like, I want to have this one number. After this one number, I want to have number 2. After that, I have 6. After that, I have 4. After that, 78. This will be the specific order I'm just giving to this particular list while creating a list, right? So this order need not to be changed, right? Because this list has some kind of property, nothing but the ordering, right? The list has some kind of property. What is that property? Ordering. If you are actually comparing with another list which has some different kind of order, okay, some different kind of, this list has some different kind of order, this list has some descending order, but when you compare here, this list has some ascending order. So obviously the result will be they both don't have anything in common, right? So this will be the scenario. So by this example, we have already finished what is mean by membership operators and what is mean by identity operators. Now we are marching towards this, what is mean by this logical operators, right? So, okay, logical operators. So what is mean by a logical operator? Logical operators are used to combine. They are used to combine conditions. They are used to combine conditions. Multiple conditions, actually. Multiple conditions. And in these logical operators, what do we have? We have and, or, not. These are the types of logical operators, and I'll explain what is meant by a logical operator and what are these and or not in specific. I'll explain all these things. For example, Example. Uh, Example. I have a scenario like mm, I have a scenario. For example, okay. For example, I'm taking an interview, right? I'm taking an interview. Actually, I'm a HR. Let's imagine I'm a HR and I want to recruit. I want to hire some kind of junior level data scientists for my company. So what can I do? I'll I'll provide some kind of assessment tests. Like I want actually I want to hire some fresher people. So for that, I'm assigning some kind of aptitude test and technical round, right? Let's say this is the stage one. Okay, let's say this is the stage one. And let's say this is the stage two. Okay, and we have some kind of random, random freshers, right? We have some kind of freshers waiting at the office. So they're actually came here for the interviews. First, they need to clear this aptitude test, right? And after that, they need to then only they can enter this second stage, that is technical round. After clearing all these, all the two stages, then they can enter HR round, final stage, right? So here my condition is, if I am HR, I am just saying to the staff, please only allow the people who are actually qualifying for this aptitude test, and also they are qualifying for this technical round test, right? Technical round test. So I want to know whether the people are actually qualifying the both the tests. I don't want to select the people who are actually qualifying for only a single test, right? If a person is actually qualifying for aptitude test and actually what if they failed in technical round, will I allow them to come to this HR round? No, obviously no. Why? Because I don't want any people to fail any of these tests, right? I want people to qualify both the tests. So here in this scenario, what operator I usually use? Here here I use AND operator. AND operator is nothing but this logical operator, right? Logical operator. I want to use AND operator in this scenario. Why? Because I just want to know whether any person is actually qualifying both the rounds. I want them to qualify this stage one round, and I want them to qualify stage two round also. So what I can do is I just need to provide this AND operator, and I want to make sure whoever maybe the people, whoever maybe the person is, he or she needs to qualify both the stage one and stage two. Then only they can enter this HR round. This is the final stage. So here in such scenarios, I can use AND operator, right? AND operator. And I'll give another example. This time, this is for OR operator, right? Because I have already clearly explained what is meant by AND operator. So I want to explain a scenario where we use OR operator, right? For example, uh, what can I give you the example? Okay. Mm, okay. For example, you went to an exhibition. Okay. You went to an exhibition. For example, a person went to an exhibition. he went to an exhibition. There, what happens is he just paid. He just paid some 50 rupees. 50 rupees at the counter. Then he was given uh, then he was given 2 rings. Okay, then he was given 2 rings. So now the goal is to throw these 2 rings one by one after the other, right? One after the other, and output will be he will win, not win. He will only win. He will only win if he throws either of the 2 rings on a particular item, right? Just remember this example. I'll just explain in a more clear manner, right? Just understand the scenario here. Here a person just went to an exhibition, right? We all know that what is meant by an exhibition. We have so many kind of entertainment things, just like an amusement, right? That's nothing but an exhibition. So he went to an exhibition and he paid some 50 rupees at the counter. So for that money, he was given 2 rings, right? He was given 2 rings. So now here the goal is to throw these 2 rings on specific items, right? Goal is to throw these 2 rings on some items, one after the other. We need to throw these 2 rings on some items, one after the other. And what will be the winning scenario? He only wins. What if he only if he throws either of the 2 rings on a particular item, right? That's nothing but see here. I have just gone to exhibition, let's say, and here here what if I call let's say here I have a glass. Okay, here I have a glass on a table. Here I have a glass on a table, and here this is me. This is me. Okay, this is me with the 2 rings. With the 2 rings in my hand. So I want to what do we can call? Let's say not 2 rings, actually 2 balls. 2 balls, right? I was given 2 balls. Now the goal is to throw these 2 balls on some specific item, one after the other. He will only win if he throws either of the 2 balls on a particular item. So here the scenario is I have 2 balls in my hand and I need to throw one ball after the other, right? And the goal here is the ball needs to be the ball needs to touch this glass, right? If I can, if I am able to touch this glass with the help of this particular ball, then what happens is I'll definitely win. But here the scenario is I may lose in this situation, right? When I'm throwing this particular ring, here I may easily lose the chance, right? But I have another chance, right? I have the second ball. What if this second ball will go and hit this glass? Then I may have the winning scenario, right? Because here what happens is I want to throw this particular two balls either in a first chance or in a second chance. We have then in such scenarios, that is I want to use this particular ball, and again I have another chance to use this particular ball. Here I can use the condition or. Why? Because I may win in this particular chance or I may win in this particular chance. But winning, but here I may win or I may not may win. But here I have the two chances, right? I don't have any one single chance. For example, if I was given only one ball and I want to hit this particular glass, then what is the scenario? There is no point to use this particular or operator, right? Only if we have more than one chance, here we can use or. So I'll explain you with the help of real example. For example, I have a variable like 20 and I have a variable b is equal to 40. Okay, and I want to know if a is greater than if a is greater than 0 and b is also greater than 0, then only I want to print both are greater numbers. Okay, but what if they both are less than 0? Then I want to print both are lesser numbers, right? I'm just hitting shift enter. See what happens. Both are great numbers. Why? Because here I have given two conditions, right? One condition is a should be greater than 0, and another condition is b should be greater than 0. See here the value of a is 20, which is greater than 0, right? And here the value of b is 40, which is greater than 0. See, I'm just passing a keyword and is nothing but I just want to make sure both the conditions should be true. Then only I want to print this particular statement like both are great numbers. If these two conditions are not actually meeting, I mean, what does I mean? that means I just want to make sure this condition and this condition should be true. Then only I want to print this particular both are greater numbers statement. What if my condition, any of the condition is false? Let's say I'm just changing. What if I'm giving this number variable, I'm giving this data for this particular a variable as -1. What if I'm just hitting shift enter? See here both are lesser numbers. He's printing like this. I mean, it's giving me the output as both are lesser numbers. Why? Because here I have passed this keyword and is nothing but both the conditions needed to be true. If any condition is meeting, I mean, if any condition is not meeting the condition, if any value is not meeting the condition, then it will definitely prints out like both are lesser numbers, right? See here, I'm just here given -1. So here -1 will be less than 0, right? So it should not be greater than 0. So here the condition is not actually satisfying. So it will enter into this else statement, and what I have given in else statement, I have just passed both are lesser numbers if this condition is true. So here obviously -1 is less than 0. So we are getting the output as both are lesser numbers, right? And I'm just giving the examples for now. A is equal to, let's say, 9. B is equal to, let's say, minus 9. Okay. And I want to know if A is greater than, if A is greater than 0 or B is greater than 0. I want to print at least one variable is greater than 0. What if this statement is wrong? Then I want to print both the variables are lesser than 0. Both the variables are lesser than 0. See here, what I have done is I have just passed a data to this particular variable as 9. I have given minus 9 to this variable B. I want to check whether any of these conditions, I have given two conditions here. See here, A should be greater than 0, B should be greater than 0. But I have passed one keyword, that is R. What is the meaning of R? What is the meaning of R? R means either this or that. No matter, there is no need of, I mean, there is not a, there is no mandatory of satisfying both the conditions, of getting satisfied of both the conditions, right? There is no need to satisfying the both the conditions, like A should be greater than 0. Either A should be greater than 0 or B should be greater than 0. But there is no necessity of getting satisfying both the conditions, right? Here, if you observe, what is the value of A? Here, the value of A is nothing but 9. So actually 9 is greater than 0, right? So when you look at B, what is the value of B? Minus 9, which is less than 0. Here the condition is false, but here this condition is true, right? Since we have passed the or keyword, so it will print out this particular at least one variable is greater than 0. I'm just hitting shift enter. Let's see here, it's giving me the printout as giving me the output as at least one variable is greater than 0. Why? Because at least one condition is true in this scenario. I know that this condition is false, but since we have passed this or keyword, so if at least one condition is true, then it will definitely prints out this particular at least one variable is greater than 0. That's it. And I want to explain another operator called a not. Let's say I have a variable A is equal to 99, and I want to know if A, I want to know if not A, print if it is not A, then print false. I'm just saying. Else is nothing but if this above condition is not true, then it will enter into this later statement. What I'm giving is print true. I'm just hitting shift enter. What happens? I'm getting the output as true. Why? Because I'll explain. See here, what I'm saying is, I'm saying a is equal to 9 value, and I'm passing a if statement like if not is here nothing but the logical operator, and also it's a keyword not, right? If not a means what I'm saying, what I have passed this data to this particular variable is 9, right? If it is not, I'm saying here, if it is not a, I'm saying here, if it is not a, then just prints out my statement. See here, I'm saying if it is not a, is this true? No. Why? Because it's actually a, right? This value is actually representing this particular sorry, actually here a is representing actually this particular value. A is the representation of this particular value. So this is a, but we are saying this is not a. What if it is not a? We want to print the false state, the false. What if it is a? We want to print the true, right? So not is nothing but I'm saying I have a person, right? I have a person, and I'm saying he, and I'm saying he is not a human. I'm saying he is not a human. I'm saying he is an alien, right? I'm saying he is an alien. That is, I'm saying he is not a human. If he is not a human, I'm saying just print he is an alien. Okay, he is an alien. And I have another else statement. Else is nothing but if he is human. Okay, if he is human, then prints out he is human, right? I'm giving this particular statement. Since we know this particular person has one head, and he has one hand, another hand, he has one leg, another leg, and he has some eyes, nose, mouth, etc., hair, ears, all the things a which a common human being has. He has everything which a normal human being has. So I can give assurance that he is a human, right? If he is a human, I'm just saying if he is a human, then just prints out human. If he is not a human, then I'm just saying just prints out alien. Since he is a human, why? Because he has same kind of organs or same kind of body parts which an average human being has. See, in the same way, I'm just passing 9 value to this particular a, and I'm checking. I'm saying it is not a. I'm saying it is not a. Is this true? Wrong. Why? Because it's actually a. It's actually a. So here I'm just saying it is not a. It should not be a. If it is not a, just prints out false. If it is a, just prints out true. Since it is a, so it's giving me the output as true. Finish. So this is all about the operators, right? So this is all about the membership operators. What is meant by a membership operator? What is meant by membership operator? In, not in, right? What is meant by a identity operator? Is not, right? What is meant by a logical operator? And or not. Okay. In addition to this, we have, let's say, fourth one is equality. Equality operator. This is nothing but this sign. I have already explained about this. So these are all the things about these operators. So let's move to this particular topic, data types. I mean, in specifically complex data type. Here we have dictionaries, sets, frozen set. We have a lot to cover. So I can finish it. Please be patient. Okay. So I'm gonna cover this complex data type. Here inside this complex data type, we have dictionaries, right? What is the syntax of the dictionary? It uses curly braces, right? Curly braces. And it has some kind of key value pairs. Let's say see here, this will be the syntax for the dictionaries, right? So this is the syntax. So here 1, 2, 3, uh, which are actually lying on the left side of this particular column operator. Column operator is nothing but, I'll explain. Here 1. Here 1 means key, and here name means value. So dictionary is nothing but a combination of keys and value pairs, right? Key and value. So this is a key. So 1 is a key, name is a value. So 2 is a key, age is a value. 3 is a key, salary is a value. So I'll explain this topic in a more simplified manner. Don't worry. Okay. So I have few boxes here. Let's say this is the box 1. Okay. I have another box called box 2. I have another box called box 3. So inside this box, it has some kind of diamonds, right? It has some kind of diamonds. And inside this particular box, it has some kind of gold. And inside this box, it has some kind of, let's say maybe platinum. Yeah, platinum. So here what happens is, here I have see here I have one key, another key. This is the third key, right? So this is the first key, this is the second key, this is the third key. So what is the use of this key here? Using this key, we can open this particular box, right? then only we can get all the diamonds inside the box. Using this particular key, we can get all the gold that is lying inside this particular box number 2. Using this particular key number 3, we are actually able to open this particular box number 3. Then only we can get all the platinum lying inside this particular box, right? So similarly here, what happens is one is nothing but the key and name is nothing but the value. When I call this particular one value, then it will get automatically, the treasure inside this particular box. That's nothing but this particular string, right? Let's say this is a key and this is a box. We'll get all the treasure that is lying inside this particular box. Okay, I'll explain you with the help of examples, don't worry. So first of all, we need to understand what is meant by a dictionary. This is very important in interview point of view. So what is meant by dictionary, right? It's almost similar to list, right? It's almost similar to list, but I am not writing here because it may be actually looks like very confusing for you. So I'm just not writing here. So in a simplified manner, it's a collection different data types, right? It's a collection of different data types. We can store, there is no rule to just store particular data type, right? Here we have string, but also we can store integer, float, or whatever you want. We can store here in this particular dictionary, right? So here it's a collection of different data types that is stored in a single variable, right? Actually, we are actually assigning this particular dictionary to a variable called a. Let's say we have this variable called a. See here, we are actually assigning all the multiple elements of this particular dictionary to a single variable a. So dictionary is used to store all the different types of data inside a single variable, right? What is the syntax here? The dictionary. What is the shape? What does a dictionary look like? It's a combination of key and value pairs, right? This is the one here. All the numbers, all the digits that are lying left to this column is nothing but the keys. All the strings that are lying right to this column is values, right? One is nothing but here key and name is nothing but here value. So together they both form a key value pair. Okay, and here actually the keys must be immutable. See here, it's very important. The keys must be immutable and hashable, right? But the value is mutable. What is the value here? Value is nothing but the data type, right? Value is nothing but the data. See here, name is nothing but the data, right? Age is nothing but the data. Salary is nothing but the data. So what he is actually saying is the keys Keys is nothing but 1, 2, 3. All these are the keys. The keys are immutable. Immutable means we can't change once it is assigned, right? After assigning, we can't do some kind of changing. I mean, we can't change for this particular keys, but we can change this particular values of a dictionary. Hashable is also having the same kind of meaning. Hashable is nothing but once it is assigned, we can't even change that throughout its lifetime, right? Once a value is assigned, value is nothing but, I mean, once a thing is assigned, we can't even change that particular thing throughout its lifetime. Okay, so this is nothing but the keys should be immutable. That is, we can't even change these keys, but we can change these particular values, right? And one thing I want to make sure is the data is stored in ordered unordered way. Okay, so here inside this particular dictionaries, the data will be stored in an unordered way. Unordered way is nothing but I'll explain. I'll explain all these things with with a practical examples on Google Colab. But let me just briefly explain all the properties of this particular dictionary, because these are all the important points in terms of interview, right? Okay. So yeah, so the data will be stored in a dictionary in an unordered way. Okay, I'll explain with the help of an example in Google Colab, but just let me explain all these things. And uh, what is the another property? These dictionaries can have different types of data. Oh, I have already explained here in this first, particular point. So I'm not repeating this here. So I'll give you an example. I have already given this particular syntax. The difference between the list and the dictionary is list will have the closed brackets, and dictionaries will have the curly braces, and it is it is used to map the data, or to trace out the data with the help of the keys, right? Simply just look at this example. If I want to let's say if I want to have this uh, access these diamonds inside this particular box number 1, what I can do, only if I have this key with me, then only I can open this particular box, because this box is made up of a strong metal. uh, what happens is, even if we try to break this box with the help of a strong hammer or a fire or water, whatever it is, it's still we can't even break this box. It will be opened only if we have this particular box number 1 key with us. See, the key is nothing but with the help of this key, we can open this particular box. So here, with the help of this key 1, we are actually tracing the treasure inside the box, right? Without the key, we can't even confirm whether this particular box has a treasure or not. We can't even know. So here key is actually used as a remote. Let's say this is a particular TV and this is a remote. With the help of the remote, we can change the channels or we can access our TV. In the same way, in the same way, in the same way, it is used to trace out the data with the help of the keys. With the help of this particular one, we can trace that we have some kind of data with the string name, right? So this is it. So let's go to the Google Colab and let's start working on it. So I'm just creating my dictionary. So my dictionary 1 is equal to, I'm just passing all the elements here. Let's say 1. I'm just giving, I want to give Naruto. These are all the anime characters. So as I'm a big fan of anime series, so I'm just passing this value as Naruto. And here I'm just passing 2 as a key, and I'm passing the value Itachi as a value, right? Now after that, I'm assigning number 3, and for the 3, I'm assigning Madara, right? So these are all the items that I am passing in this particular dictionary, my dictionary 1. Okay, so I'm just passing this. See here, it has been successfully loaded. So I can explain this particular topic like see here. Let's say we have a box. Okay, this is a box of Naruto, right? I'm just passing letter N. This is a box of Itachi. And this is a box for Madara. So we have we have 3 keys. We have 3 keys for these 3 boxes, right? 3 keys for these 3 boxes. This is the key 1. This is the key 2. This is the key 3. 1, 2, 3. This is the key 1, key 2, key 3. And with the help of this key, we can trace this particular Naruto. And with the help of this key number 2, we can trace Itachi. With the help of this key number 3, we can trace Madara. Right? See here. This is what I have given. Right? And see here. If you want to know my dict, whether my dict of 0, what happens? It will throw you an error. Just imagine what happens. It will be giving you an error. Why? Because it's actually a dictionary, right? It's actually a dictionary. So it's actually a dictionary, and one thing I want to explain. I have just forgot. Like I'll just go to this particular. Here, keys are case sensitive. Here, keys are case sensitive. Why? Because here, see, I have given 1, 2, 3. Okay, but what if I have given this in the form of any kind of string? For example, I've just given Naruto or something else. But what if we miss a single letter? For example, instead of capital letter, if you give a small letter or a lower letter, then it may create a very big problem because it may gives you an error. Why? Because the keys are the case sensitive here. You should not miss the case sensitive here. So just keep this in mind, and the keys should be the unique, and the keys should be unique in nature. They can't be duplicated, right? Why? Because, for example, if I have the key with 1, right, and I can't have another key with the same name, with the same 1 digit. I'm not able to create this dictionary with the same key. The keys should be unique. The key should be 1, 2, 3. See here, these 3 keys are unique in nature, so they are not allowed to have in a duplicated nature, right? So this is all about dictionaries, and I have just explained the allotment of the memories for this particular keys and values, right? So, and yeah, this is the point which I forgot to tell you. So just keep this in mind. Keys are the case sensitive in nature, and uh, we just can't give our keys as duplicates. We should not give, right? Just keep that in mind, and I'll come to this and I'll explain why this error has occurred. See here, I have just passed my dictionary 1 of 1. See here, 1. But what is the value of the key here? It should be in the single quotes, right? It should be in the single quotes. Now I'm passing the single quotes. Inside the single quotes, I'm passing this key as 1. What happens? I'm getting the output as Naruto. Why? Because earlier I have passed this particular number without the single quotes. I have just passed like this, right? It will definitely gives you an error. Why? Because I have already told you. I have already told you, like keys are the case sensitive, and the keys should be the unique, right? I have said here keys should be unique. Keys should be unique, and these are the case sensitive. Just keep this in mind, case sensitive, right? So here what happens is I have just passed this in a single quotes, but when I try to pass this in without quotes, without single quotes, it will definitely give you an error. So what I can do is I just provide single quotes, and inside the single quotes I will try to provide this one. Now I won't get a single error. So by this way, by using these keys, we can actually extract all the content that is being presented inside this key, right? See, similar in this same way, without the help of, I mean, with the help of this single key, I can be able to, I mean, I'm able to extract all the content that is being presented inside this particular box, whether it is gold or diamond or whatever it is. I can extract this particular content with the help of this key. With the help of this key, I can extract this content. With the help of this key, I can extract this content. Similar way, in the similar way, with the help of this particular key, I can extract this content as an output. See here. So that's what it is. So okay, let's do some kind of practical exercises for these dictionaries. Okay, now I'm trying to create some empty dictionary here. Now I want to know what kind of type it is, right? I want to know the type of this particular variable. What happens? Let's see. See here, it's a dictionary data type. Did you get it? It's a dictionary data type. Why? Because see here, it has some kind of curly braces, right? Of course, it doesn't have anything inside the curly braces, but around it has some kind of curly braces. So curly braces are the representation for a dictionary. So when you want to know the type of this particular variable a, it will definitely prints out the data type of that particular variable, which is dictionary. Okay, and I can assign like this. I want to create, see here, I'm just passing, I have just created an empty dictionary. Now I want to create some elements inside this, like this. Okay, I want to create some elements like this inside this particular empty dictionary. So what can I do? I'll just pass some kind of data, like some kind of keys with the name, let's say 1. Okay, I want to and give this data as a data science, right? Data science. So now a of 2 is equal to, I want to pass this as machine learning, right? A of 3, I want to pass this as artificial intelligence, and I want to pass this. Now this time I'm not, I mean, I'm not in a mood to pass this as in a numerical format. I just want to give this some kind of name, like yeah, name. Let's say name. Okay, what happens? Let's see. I want to give this name Naruto Uzumaki. See here, I'm just passing the wrong variable here, so I need to pass this correct variable here. So what if what if I press enter, shift enter, and I want to print all the element inside this particular variable a. See here, I'm getting all the elements. I'm getting this data science for a key 1. I'm getting this machine learning for the key 2. I'm getting this artificial intelligence for the key 3. I'm getting this Naruto Uzumaki for the key name. Like this we can create, all the elements inside a empty dictionary, right? So if you want to know this particular type of this variable, see here, it will gives you the output as dictionary. Why? Because it has the keys and it has the values, right? Data science is a value, machine learning value, artificial intelligence value, Naruto Uzumaki value. How do we know whether a particular element is a value or a key? That's very simple. Why? Because see here, we have two values, one value, I mean, we have two elements, one element, two element. So in between it has some kind of column, right? This particular column. So everything which lies left to the column is nothing but the key. Everything which lies right to the column is always the value, right? See here, just explaining. See here, let's say I have this particular one. and I have this column. Here I have Naruto. See here, everything 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 that lies to the left is nothing but key. Everything that lies right to the column is nothing but value. Just take a screenshot. Just take a screenshot for this so that you can remember this for a very long time. Okay. So, and we can also use dictionaries with some of the operators. Like I want to know whether whether data science whether data science is there whether data science is there in this variable a or not. See here, I want to know whether this data science is there in this variable a or not. I want to know this. See here, it's saying false. Did you get this? False. Why it's saying this as a false? Why? Because we have just passed the value. See here, data science is nothing but the value here. We have passed this value here. If you pass this value and you want to check if it is present in this particular variable or not, then it will definitely give the output as false, because we never pass this particular value inside this when you deal with these operators, you will always pass the key here. What is the key here for the data science? 1. So you should need to pass this particular key 1 in A. Then it will gives you the correct value. That is true. Why? Because we have already value with the name data science, right? And we want to know, I personally want to know whether my favorite anime character Naruto Uzumaki is there or not. So what I can do, I just copy this key, right? I just copy this key. So print, I want to know whether this particular, see here, this is a case sensitive. So just make sure whether the key is what kind of case it is. See here, it's all in the uppercase. So I just want to make sure whether it is uppercase or not. See here, I'm giving this, whether I want to know whether this particular name in this variable, whether this particular Naruto Uzumaki is present in this particular variable or not. When I press shift enter, it will definitely print you out as a true. Why? Because we already have this Naruto Uzumaki in this particular variable here, right? So that's why it's giving me the true. Let's say I want to print Samsung, right? I want to print Samsung. I want to know actually whether Samsung is there in particular A variable or not. I want to know. See here, it's giving me as false. Why? Because we don't have any string with the name Samsung, right? We don't have. See here, we don't have anything Samsung kind of word as a value. We only have the values artificial intelligence, Naruto Uzumaki, and machine learning and data science, right? We don't have any Samsung. So that's why it's giving me as a false output. And obviously you can use some kind of built-in functions. For example, you want to know the length of this particular dictionary. When you pass this length function, when you pass this particular variable to inside this length function, then it will say then it will say 4. Why 4? Because it has, see here, this is a kind of one element, this is a kind of two element, this is the third element, and this is the fourth element. So total we have 4 elements. Okay, and we want to know whether max of max of A. I want to know whether what is the max of A. See here, when I want to know what will be the maximum, what is the maximum value of the variable A, it is giving me as name. Why name? See here, why name? Why it's giving me as a name? Let's say I want to try minimum value, minimum of A. What do you expect? See here, it's giving me as 1. Why it's giving me minimum value as a 1 and why it is giving me the maximum value as name? Why? Because it will just checks out all the keys. All the keys. When I call this maximum function, it will just checks all the key values. See here, it is just checking the value, this particular key value, and it is checking this particular key value, this particular key value, and this particular key value. Out of all these out of all these keys, what is which key has the maximum characters here? See here, 1 has only one character, 2 has only one character, right? 3 has only one character, but name has 4 characters. See here, N-A-M-E. See, it has 4 characters, 4 long characters, right? So it is giving me the output as name when I call this maximum function. And when I call this minimum function for this particular variable A, it's giving me the output as 1. Why? Because in terms of numbers, this is the minimum value, right? This is the minimum value. See here, this is the minimum value. So it's giving me the output as 1. Let's say I want to give, I want to give 4. Now I want to know what is the maximum function for this particular dictionary. I want to find out. See here. 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. Sorry, I just got confused. See here. When you run this and when you print this, see here what's happening. I have just given 1, 2, 3, and I have just passed earlier the string name, right? Name for this Naruto Uzumaki. But what happens when I try to change this name instead of name, I have just replaced it as 4. What happens? The name won't be disappearing, right? The name here is itself is here. The name, this particular key and this particular value is not going anywhere. These are actually here. But additionally, this particular key with the value Naruto Uzumaki for this particular value, for this particular key 4 is getting added. See here. See here. Did you observe? Actually, I have given 4 in place of this particular name, right? But it's not getting deleted. The 4, the key 4, and for which its value is Naruto Uzumaki, has been added to this existing dictionary. That means we can't delete the when you update any kind of key, we can't delete it. It will just get updated. It will just add to the existing dictionary, right? So that's what it is. And let's say you want to clear everything, right? For example, A is our dictionary and I want to clear all the items inside it. What I can do is I can pass this clear function, clear method here. See here, I'm just now printing this a variable here. What happens? It's showing me the empty dictionary. Why? Because I have already cleared everything inside this particular dictionary. And let's say I'm assigning all the things again. I want to assign all the things again. So here I'm just assigning all the things here. Now when you print here a here, you will get all the elements inside a dictionary. So now what I'm saying is I just want to print out I just want to get a particular key. That is, I just want to know the value of this particular key, number 3, right? Let's say I'm just passing this particular number 3 inside this get function. What happens? Let's see. See here, it's printing out the value of this particular key, that is artificial intelligence. I have just passed this key as number 3, and it's printing out the corresponding value as artificial intelligence, right? That's it. That's the use of this get function. And when you want to print out all the elements, you can just call a dot items. Then see here, all the elements inside the dictionary item has been printed out like this, right? These are just the additional things which I'm explaining right now. Okay, using all these built-in functions, or using all these get function, built-in functions, items, using all this, you can use dictionaries, right? I'm just saying like this. And you want to know whether what are all the keys that are being present for my variable a. So what you can do is dot keys. We have the dot keys function. When you call this, okay, it will gives you an error. Why? Because okay, I have just, so it's the mistake here. It's actually keys. See here, when I want to know what are all the keys that are being present inside a particular dictionary, I'm just passing variable dot keys function. When I pass that particular function, I'm just getting the output as all the values, all the keys of that particular dictionary. And now in the similar way, I want to know what are all the values that are being present inside this dictionary A. So I'm just passing variable dot values. So it's giving me all the values of that particular dictionaries, right? And you are, I think you are already familiar with this function. Like, you want to print out a dot pop. You want to remove, actually, right? You want to remove this particular. Wait a minute, I'll show you. See here, you have all these corresponding values for these corresponding keys, right? And I want to remove this particular key number 4. Why? Because it's irrelevant, right? Of course, this is my favorite anime character, but here this is irrelevant. Why? Because it is having some kind of educational related, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. These three belongs to the same kind of domain or area, but this particular anime character belongs to some different kind of domain, right? So I want to remove this particular key. So what can I do? I'm just passing this key inside this pop function. What happens? Let's see. When I call this a dictionary, what happens? It's just giving me this only the three keys with the three values: data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence. There is no fourth item, that is Naruto Uzumaki. There is no fourth item. Why? Because we have already removed here. Pop is nothing but just a kind of removal item, right? If you want to remove certain element or certain key, you can pass anything into this particular pop function, then automatically it will take care of it. See here, I'm just passing this particular key item, but it's deleting me all the entire item, right? So what if I want to? What if I want to? I'm just passing here dot variable dot pop item. What happens? See here, when I want to print a, what happens? See here, when you pass this particular pop function, you need to specifically mention what kind of key do you want to remove. See here, okay. If you only remove, if you only mention what kind of key do you want to remove, then only it will remove that particular item from the dictionary. But here inside this pop item, you need not mention any kind of specific key. If you just pass this pop item to your variable, then it will automatically remove your last key value item, right? Here in our a variable, here we have a variable. Inside this a variable, we have data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and we have the corresponding keys 1, 2, 3. See here, I haven't passed anything inside this pop item. I'm just leaving as it is, but it has removed this last item. Okay, so when you don't pass anything to this particular pop item, it will automatically understand that you want to remove this particular last item which is been present in this particular variable. So it has removed this third item, right? And when you want to update, right? You want to update, not this. Wait. See here, you have, when you print out the variable a, it has some kind of elements like data science, machine learning. Okay, and I'm giving another variable b, and I'm passing all the elements like number 3, and I'm giving this um, computer vision. Okay. Computer vision, and I also want to give another element, that is 4, for the corresponding value of natural language processing. Okay, I want to give this. So I have created, I already have this particular dictionary A, and right now I have just created this particular dictionary B, and I want to merge all the, and I want to merge these both the dictionaries as a one single dictionary. What I can do is, I'm just, now also I want to print that. So what I can do is a dot. So my variable is a, and I want to update that with the dictionary B, right? What if I press shift enter? See here, see here. When I update this with the dictionary B, I'm just updating variable A with the help of this. I mean, with dictionary B. What I'm getting here, I'm getting all the elements as data science, machine learning, computer vision, natural language processing inside the single variable A. Why it is getting inside the single variable A particularly? Why? Because I want to update this particular variable. See here, A dot update. So I want to update this particular variable A with with this particular dictionary B. So that's why I'm getting all these as an output inside this A, right? So by this, we have already covered the dictionary part, and now we're gonna cover the set. So what is meant by the set? Set is nothing but it's also a collection of items. So collection of different data types. Also, it is the data is unordered. The data is unordered, and here it's mutable, right? It's mutable. It doesn't have any duplicated values inside it. Okay. See here, it's mutable, right? It's mutable. See here. And also when it comes to the dictionaries, only the keys are immutable. But here, the values are also mutable, right? It is, the keys are immutable, but the values are mutable. So overall, the dictionaries is also a mutable object, right? And here, the set is also a mutable object, mutable data type, right? It's also hashable. Hashable is also the same way. Once it is assigned, it can't be changed throughout its lifetime, right? Once the data is assigned, it can't be changed throughout its lifetime. This is nothing but the properties of the set, right? We can also use this kind of set data type with the help of any variables. Like we can use set with some operators, and with some built-in functions. Example, in not in operators, and when it comes to the built-in functions, length function, max, min, etc. Also, one important thing is a set function. A set function returns a set object from an iterable, right? I'll explain all these things with the help of an example right now. So we can just go to the Google Colab here, and so okay, I'm just assigning this variable a is equal to set of, I want to assign let's Python, Java, and Ruby, Scala. I want to assign all the elements inside a set function. Okay. And I want to know what kind of data type it is. So I'm just passing this variable a inside this type function so that I can find out what kind of data type it is. See here, it's giving me the output as set, because here we have already passed the entire elements inside this set function, right? So here we are getting this output as set. Okay, and I have already explained that where is it? Yeah, we can use set with some operators with some built-in functions, right? So now I'm gonna explain that. Let's say I want to know the length of this particular variable a, this particular variable, right? So I want to know this. See here 4. Why? Because 4? Because Python, Java, Ruby, Scala, these are all the 4 elements. So it's giving me the output as 4. And when you want to involve some kind of operators like in and not in, you want to use this kind of operators with along with the set. So how do you do that? I want to know whether Naruto is present inside this variable a or not. False. Why false? Because inside this particular variable it doesn't have any kind of string with the name Naruto, right? So it's giving me the false. What if I want to print out some kind of Python? Let's say, see here it's giving me the output as true. Why? Because it has a string named Python, right? That's it. And one thing I want to make sure that it is unordered, right? It is unordered. For example, unordered means, I'll give you an example. Like, see here, we have the variable a, and inside this variable we have Python, Java, Ruby, Scala, right? Just remember this. I'm just copying this. Okay. Now I'm gonna let's print out this a variable, and here it has Java, Python, Ruby, Scala, right? See here, just see here. I have assigned this in a specific order. Like I have assigned this in a Python, Java, first Python, then Java, then Ruby, then Scala. See here, Python, Java, Ruby, Scala. But it is giving me the output as first Java, and then Python, and then Ruby, and then Scala. Let's say I want to print this variable a again. See here. See here, this time it's giving me the output as Ruby, Java, Scala, and Python. Why it is giving me the different kind of outputs? Actually, the elements are the same actually, but it's giving me the output in a different order. Why? Because sets are unordered. Okay, these are unordered. Why? Because that's its kind of property, right? It's property. It is unordered, right? This is unordered. Okay. And also we can give a different kind of data types. Let's say print a dot update. Oh, see here, I'm just updated the existing variable a with another element 1. See here, it has been added. So by this, what we can derive is I'm just explaining this particular point. It's a collection of different data types, right? It's a collection of different data types. That means it has, see here, it has one Java. Oh, let's see. I'm passing this. See here, int object is not iterable, right? Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Let's say B is equal to have created a set of now this time I have given 1, 2, 3. What happens? Let's see. I'm just experimenting this. Now I want to update this A variable with B. What happens? Now I want to know what are all the elements that are being presented inside this particular A variable. See here, it has some duplicate. I should not call this as a duplicate, but see here, one is a string. One is a number, integer, because it is not there inside this particular single quotes, right? But it is there inside this single quotes, so it's a string. It's a integer, and these are the strings, right? So there are different kind of data types inside this particular uh, set data type, right? Okay, so how do you? I mean, how do you use set in a real? I mean, in terms of real life scenario. I can give you an example. Like, just go to this paint section here and just delete all the stuff. Okay, so here I have one circle, right? I have one big circle. Here I have another circle. Ignore my drawing skills. Just follow the content here. So what happens is, I'm taking another color. Yeah, green. So here, okay. Let's say, okay. How can I explain this? Let me think a better example so that you can understand very well. Okay, so here I am giving this circle as a NLP, right? Natural language processing. Okay, and here I'm giving this this particular part as EDA. EDA is nothing but exploratory data analysis, right? And here I'm giving this particular path as sorry, you need to understand very well. So what can I do? Okay, no worries. Let's say this is a kind of apple. Okay, This is an apple. Let's say this is an apple, and let's say this is the banana, and this is the orange. Okay, orange. So sorry, this is not the orange. This is not the orange. This is not the orange. This is actually calcium tablets. Okay, let's say vitamin tablets. Vitamin tablets. These are the vitamin tablets. So in order to remain healthy, what can we do? We can consume apple, we can consume banana, and we can also consume vitamins, right? But most of the average people will definitely consume some part of it daily. Some part of some apples, some banana, and very less people will consume vitamin tablets in a daily based scenario in order to remain healthy. Can anybody says like if we have a particular person who daily consumes only the vitamin tablets? This is a least scenario, right? Because most of the people will definitely eat this kind of fruits also. So here this Venn diagram is establishing a particular relationship between all these objects, right? Apple is an object, banana is an object, vitamin tablets is an object. So I'm just drawing a relationship between these three objects. So here sets will be used to define this particular relationship, right? So how to do that, I can explain you. No worries, I can explain you. Okay, so let's say yeah, see here, and what if b is equal to, okay, leave it, forget about this particular a. So I'm just starting with x1. Here x1, I want to assign some kind of values in a dictionary. Sorry, not a dictionary. I'm just assigning this particular thing. Like let's say apple, okay, and here banana. So I'm passing these two elements, and now what happens, I'm just creating another variable, and again I'm passing two other things like tablets, and tonics. Okay, tablets and tonics. So now I'm assigning another variable, that is x3, and I want to know what are all the common things. What are all the common things inside this x1 and x2, right? See here, I want to print this x3. I'm getting apple, banana, tablets, tonics, right? I'm getting this apple, banana, all the elements I'm just getting. It's not the common items because there is no common item. I'm just getting all the elements that are being present inside this x1 and x2. So, but when I want to x1 dot union dot x2, and I say like this, what happens? Let's try. Tonics, apple, tablets, banana. See here, you don't, I'm sure you won't understand anything. Why? Because here I have passed four different elements, right? Apple, banana, tablets, tonics. There is no, there is no kind of element which is common in both these two variables. So what I can do is, what I can do is I'm just creating another variable, like it's one a1 is equal to Python, Java, Scala, Ruby, and I'm creating a2 variable is equal to, I'm just giving the, I'm just giving the elements here. So what I'm doing is I'm just remaining, I'm just changing all these items here. Let's say data, science, ML. Okay, so I'm passing this data to these corresponding two variables, and now I want to know whether a3 is equal to a1 and a2. What happens? Let's see. See here, I'm getting all the elements: data, Java, ML, Python, Ruby, Scala, science. Right? What happens is here I have the Python, this particular string. It's getting repeated for the two times, right? Here it has Python, and here also it has Python. But it is just printing all the unique items which are being present inside this two variables, right? We have two Python, but if I want to print only unique item, then I'm just taking only one single Python string out of these two, right? So this is printing only one Python single string. Here everything is unique, right? Java is unique because there is no other Java string is present inside this particular variable. So Scala is unique, Ruby is unique, ML is unique, science is unique, data is unique. So it's just printing out all the unique elements. This symbol, the pipe symbol here denotes, uh, I'll just write here, pipe symbol represents here all the unique items between the given variables. Okay, so this is the thing. And when you want to print out, what are the common things, like I want to know whether is there anything common in between a1 and I mean I just want to union them. Yeah, I just want to union them. What happens? See here, union means nothing but I'm just trying to merge all these, merge these two variables as is one single variable, right? As a one single variable. When you print out a1, it will just print out what are all the elements that you have given when time of its creation. Okay, but if you want to look for uh, merging of all the variables, like I want to merge a1 and a2, and I want to print both the, I want to print the unique items out of these two variables, then I can use union a1 dot union of a2. Then what happens is it will just prints out all the unique items. See, this is nothing but the similar. This is just this is just similar to this particular pipe symbol also. We can do this with the help of this pipe symbol, or also we can do this with the help of this dot union function, right? And similarly, we can also have uh, intersection function. I want to know a1 dot intersection of a2. What happens? Let's print out. Let's print out. See here, This is finding intersection means finding the common thing between the variables, right? See here, I have A1, Python, Java, Scala, Ruby, and I have A2, Python, data science, ML. So out of all these elements, what are the common elements? Python is the common element, right? So it's just printing out what is the common element here. So I'm just passing A1. I'm just saying A1 dot intersection of A2. I'm just passing A2 inside this intersection function. I'm just saying I need to find out what are all the common elements that are being present inside these two variables. So it's just giving me the output as Python, right? And you can also use some kind of operator like A1 dot difference of A2. What happens? Let's see. See here, when you apply this difference function, it will just print out Ruby, Scala, Java. Why? Why? Because you are actually, see here, observe here, what is your, what are you doing actually? See here, you are saying A1 dot, that is nothing but you're saying A1 dot, that which returns a set of all the elements that are in X1, but it excludes the elements of A2, right? So what happens is I have just passed A1 dot difference, right? So here it takes all the elements that are been present inside this A1 and it ignores the, I'll write here, it takes all the elements except the common element of A1. Why it's only taking the elements that are being present inside this A1? Why? Because I have just passed this A1 dot difference, right? So I'm just passing this A2 to the difference function. I'm just saying just ignore this A2. So that's why it's printing me. So that's why it's giving me the output as Ruby, Scala, and Java, right? See here, Ruby, Scala, Java are the elements of this item. Of this variable A1. Got it? So that's it. And similarly, you can also have multiple functions here. A1 dot symmetric difference of A2. Symmetric difference of A2. What happens? Scala, ML, Science, Java, Data, Ruby. What is it doing actually? It just removes the common elements here, right? I'm just writing here. It removes the common elements from A1 and A2 and prints out all the remaining elements. See here, see here, Python is common in both of these variables, right? So it is removing the total Python string, right? It's just removing the Python from entire A1 and A2 variables. So it's just printing out all the remaining elements like Java, Ruby, Scala, Data, ML, Science, right? And here I have another function called A1 dot subset. A1 dot is subset of A2. What happens? It's just printing me the output as false. Why? What is meant by this is subset? We are just saying we want to test whether a set is a subset of another, right? Got it? Actually, we just want to know whether A2 is the subset of A1 or not. We want to know this. Whether, where is it? Yeah, we want to know whether this particular A2 is a subset of this particular A1 or not. I don't think so. Why? Because these have some different kind of values. These have some different kind of values. Not all the majority of the, I mean, for example, let's see. Let's see. I have x1 is equal to Python, Ruby, Julia. Okay. And I have x2 is equal to Python and Ruby. See here. Now what I'm saying is, oh, syntax problem. Okay. So now what I'm saying is, I just want to try this out on x1 and x2, right? So I'm just passing this x1 here and I'm just passing this x2 here. What happens? Yeah, let's reverse this. X2, x1. See here, it's giving me the true. Why? As an output. Why it's giving me the true as an output? Because here, see, what I'm saying is x2 dot is subset. I want to know whether this particular x2 variable is a subset of this particular x1 variable or not. I want to know this. See here, Python and Ruby, it has Python and Ruby in this particular x1 also, right? I'll explain. See here, we have x1 is equal to Python, Ruby, Julia, right? So I have x2 is equal to, and I have Python, and I have Ruby. So subset, do you know the meaning of the subset? Subset is nothing but it's a sample, right? Let's imagine it's a population. It's a population and it's a subset. See here, is it matching with the population or not? This is the sample, right? This is the population. And I want to make sure this sample is actually matching with the population or not. See here, Python is matching with the Python, right? Ruby is matching with the Ruby, right? So actually, this particular x2 is a subset of this particular x1. So that's why it's giving me the value true. What if I give x1? What if I give x1? It will definitely give me the value as false. Why? Because I don't have Julia inside this particular x2, right? I'll explain. See here, I have x2. Sorry, okay, let's say, no worries. I have Python, Ruby, and Julia. So what happens is, see here, when I try whether this x2, let's say now, this particular x2 is nothing but the, here I'm treating it as a sample. Okay, here I'm treating this as a population. Is this true? It won't be true. Why? Because here it's matching with the Python, right? It's matching with the Ruby, right? but it has no value of Julia. It doesn't have any string Julia inside this particular x1. So it will be it will definitely be the wrong match. Why? Because it won't be any sample. This would be the population and this would be the sample here. This will be the sample. So for this situation like this, it will give you an false kind of situation. See here, I'm just changing here x1 x2. See here, it's giving me the false as an output. Now we came at the end of the session. Here I have only one topic left, that is nothing but the immutable set. Okay, immutable sets, or we can call it as frozen sets. So it's another data type in Python. It's almost like a set. Okay, it's almost similar like a set, but it's immutable, right? The name itself explains that it is mutable. Immutable, that is can't change once it's assigned, right? It has data in unordered way. So now you know this, it is mutable. Sorry, it is immutable, right? It is immutable. That is, once it is assigned, after that we can't change that. We can't change the data. So, and it has the data that is stored in an unordered way. Unordered way is, right? Just as an example of this particular set, it also has data. What is mean by unordered? You already know that, like Java, Python, Ruby, Scala, etc. And when you print out this, let's say it has some kind of variable. Right? When you print A, then what will be the output? The output may differ in terms of order, right? In terms of order. The output may differ in terms of order. Like you may get the output as Ruby, Scala, and Java, and Python, like this, right? So this is an example of unordered. So we'll go and see what is meant by a frozen set. See here, I'm just assigning I'm just want to assign something to frozen set function. So I'm just assigning a list like data, science, and ML, that is machine learning, right? So I want to print the type of this X. What is the data type of this particular X? See here, it's giving me this frozen set. Why? Because we are actually assigned all the data to this particular frozen set function, right? So due to that reason, when do we use the frozen set? This is another beautiful point which is very useful in terms of the interviews here. Nothing but we use frozen set we use frozen set when we want to use a set, but we also need the immutable object, right? See here set is mutable, right? See here, its set is mutable, that is it can be changed. Oh, okay, so here it's mutable, right? Set is mutable, that is mutable is nothing but once it's so I should remove this. Okay, so it's a mutable kind of data type, which is once it is defined, and it can't be changed. Once it is defined, it can't be changed. So but here it is an immutable set, or we can call it as a frozen set, right? When do we use frozen set? We use frozen set when we want to use this particular set, but here we also need this immutable object, right? Because since there the set was a mutable object, so we want to make use of set but as a immutable object, right? So in terms of if we want to use the set but as a immutable object, then we can use this frozen set, because this works exactly as a set, but but it will be acted as a immutable object. Okay, see here, I'll give you an example. Let's say I want to print x. See here, I'm getting ml data and science, right? But I have assigned data, science, and then ml. But here, what I'm getting? ml, data, and science. So this is an example of what we can call unordered, right? Unordered. And also, let's try. I want to explain you what is the basic difference between the set and the frozen set. Let's say I am creating a variable a1, and I want to convert this list to the set. What happens? Let's say data. I want to give it, and I want to assign a new variable, new data to this variable a2. Set of, I'm creating a list inside the set function. That's nothing but science. And I'm creating a variable a3 is equal to set of, I'm creating a list ml, right? Here now I'm just creating a variable x, and I want to pass all these elements, all these variables inside a, I mean as a side by side. This is side by side scenario. Let's say I want to pass them just beside. What is happening here? Here it's showing me type error unhashable type set, because here see here, it's unhashable, right? It's unhashable. It's unhashable, that is we can't even we can't even change once it is assigned, right? I mean, sorry, we can change actually. Why? Because Hashable is nothing but we can't even change once it is assigned. But here I'm saying unhashable, that is nothing but we can change once it is assigned. So in the same way, this is applicable for the set, right? But here I want to use this same, but for the frozen set, right? I want to pass this all for the frozen set. I want to pass all this for the frozen set. What happens? Let's see. See here, when I try to print out X, what happens? See here, it's giving me the frozen set of science, frozen set of data, frozen set of ML, frozen set of data, right? Why? Because it's not unhashable, it's hashable. That is, it's hashable. We can change. We can't change. Hashable is nothing but we can't change. See here. I'll give you an example, right? In the previous example above, we created a set X of frozen sets, that is A1, comma A2, comma A3, which is possible because frozen sets are immutable. Immutable is we can't even change once it is assigned, right? Due to this nature, we have just passed this frozen set for all the variables, and due to that we try to pack all the single individual variables inside a single variable X. Just because frozen set is immutable, we have done this. But since set is not immutable, right? It's a mutable object. It's a mutable data type. So we can't, when we try to pack all these variables inside a single variable, then it's showing us the error of like unhashable set, right? So this is what is the basic difference is. Okay. Okay. So yes, by this we came to the end of this particular topics. So let's have a quick recap. I have already explained what is meant by membership operators in, not in, and what is meant by an identity operators is not, and what is meant by an logical operators and or not, and what is meant by an equality operators, that is double equal to sign. So I have already made a clear explanation uh, about this basic difference between this equality operator and this identity operators. So don't get confused. Just watch that uh, particular situation inside this video, then you'll get the clarity. I hope you will get the clarity. You got the clarity, I think. And I have already explained what are the complex data types, that is dictionary and sets and frozen sets. Here I have already uh, explained what are all the characteristics of the dictionaries here, right? And here it is the syntax of the dictionary. I have explained with some of the examples, and have explained all the characteristics of the set with examples along with the code. Similarly, I have already explained what are all the frozen sets or immutable sets, whatever it is, it's the same name. We can call it as by the name mutable sets, or we can call it as by the name frozen sets, right? So this is the end of the session. I hope you got some good idea about all the topics, and in the next video I'm gonna explain about the Python's collection module, right? It has different kind of modules, Python modules. Named a tuple, default dictionary, chain map, DQ, whatever may be the pronunciation. We just need the content, right? So, and what are all the other things? Something I forgot, like counter. Yeah, counter and user dictionary, user list, user string. I'm gonna cover all these 7 topics in the next video. Okay, so that's all for this video. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye bye, take care, good night, and Jai Hind.